Whoa, 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 whoa. I already know what you guys are saying. You read the title, but I'm telling you, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Okay, I know you guys read the title, but hear me out. All right, welcome back, YouTube. My name is Nigel MrSchroeter, and you guys are tuning to the best YouTube finance channel. Now, today we're gonna be talking about a very controversial, taboo, whatever you want to call it, topic, in the finance realm, and that is Credit One Bank, as well as the consumer finance accounts like my jeweler. So we're going to be talking about subprime banks really versus consumer finance accounts. But I had to use the example of Credit One for my subprime lending bank and my jewelers for my consumer finance account. So which one should you get? So assuming this is back when they're both reporting to all three. Now, mind you, there's still consumer finance accounts that are reporting to all three. We're just going to use these two as examples. So now, should I go for a 5K primary trade line that I have to pay $200 for, that I'll never swipe again, that has no outside value to me other than being a primary trade line with a high limit on my report? Or should I pay for a high annual fee, low limit, no to very small rewards, subprime lending card? All right, so let's really get into it and let's break it down. I basically gave you guys a brief breakdown of the two products and what they are. So let me just go a little bit deeper and tell you. So Credit One is actually a bank issued credit card. Most of their credit cards have an annual fee of around $100. And they either give back no rewards or maybe 1 or 2% rewards, which is very slight. They are Visa cards. Typically, they do have an Amex, and you can use these cards anywhere else that you would swipe a Visa or Amex, obviously. Then you have the primary trade line, My Jewelers Club, or any of the other consumer finance accounts that you're talking about, that you're going to pay basically $200. You're going to pay $100 for a membership fee annually. You're going to pay $100 to buy an item off of their site. So $200. They're going to ask you for $150 up front, and then you're going to make two payments of about $25 to $30, depending on how expensive of an item you get. And then you're never going to be able to use these cards again because there's no value to them except for buying pointless items that are overpriced, and you don't want. So now, breaking these two down, when you break them down like that and you just give people the cold, hard facts, typically people get very quickly, hey, I don't want the consumer finance account because other than it showing a high limit on my report, it is of no value to me. And in the case of a true emergency or anything else, there's nothing that I can really do with this card. And that's what I want you guys to realize is when you get consumer finance accounts, there's nothing that you can do with those cards. There's no value to those cards. There's nothing that you're getting out of those cards except for that positive payment history reporting every month. If that's what you're looking for, you can go get a secured card. You can go get a secured loan. You can go get, Credit One, Americ Bank, and Open Sky, your bank's secured card. Whatever it is, I'm going to recommend those over the consumer finance accounts every day. I've told you guys this in the past, but I just want to reiterate this for the people who are new and coming to the channel so that they don't make this mistake. There's two reasons why people tell you and mislead you into getting consumer finance accounts. One is because they get a kickback off of them, because a lot of people, they tell you, hey, click the link down in the description and go sign up for this consumer finance account, and they don't even disclose to you that they get a referral bonus off of it, and that's the only reason they're telling you to go to that company is because they get a kickback off of your ignorance. So that's reason one. Reason two being they're misinformed also, and they have the belief that a $5,000 consumer finance trade line holds more weight than a $200 or $100 or $500 or whatever limit you get on a subprime bank, and it doesn't. First thing is, consumer finance companies actually get flagged by the credit bureaus, and they typically get flagged rather quickly. So when they get flagged by the credit bureaus, you're going to risk one of two things. In the case of my jewelers, a credit bureau may remove them from your report. So when they remove them from your report, now you no longer have that trade line. You paid that money for it, and it's not reporting anymore. And now you've wasted your money. So that's one thing. And then the other big misconception with these accounts is that the value of a trade line actually affects how much it's worth, and it really doesn't. Any trade line you get is going to hit the 6 credit factors. And if you remember your 6 credit factors, which are going to be your payment history, your utilization, your derogatory marks, your accounts open, your hard inquiries, and your age of your credit. Those are your 6 credit factors. Did you hear me say how high your limit is? No, because it's not a credit factor. It does not affect you getting approved for credit. It may affect how much credit you get approved for by another bank, but typically a bank rather see another bank on there than a consumer finance company. There's actually banks that won't lend to you purely off the basis that there are consumer finance companies on your credit. So you listen to YouTube gurus, as we call them, these fake gurus, and they're telling you, hey, go apply for these accounts, go get 5, 6 of them, and then you go to one of the banks that you want to get a card from, like Chase, like American Express, and they turn around and they say you're denied because you have 5 or 6 consumer finance companies on your credit. Well, guess what? In order for those consumer finance companies to come off of your credit, what has to happen is either the credit bureaus have to remove them, you can try and dispute them, but that may not even work, or you have to wait for them to fall off your report, which means you have to close them, which in turn you're going to be losing the money you invested in them in the first place, and then wait 7 years for these accounts to fall off. So with that being said, please, 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 if you're in the situation where you don't have another option between a subprime card and a consumer finance account, please choose that subprime card all day, as well as, call up a credit repair company, check out the link in the description, and go for credit repair, as well as look into some of these other secured cards or things that are open with no credit check that are going to allow you to be able to build up your report and start getting approvals for other cards. More than anything, I want you guys to know what's actually going on out here. I want you guys to be aware of what people are going to tell you, how people are going to try to persuade you, and the misleading information that's going to be given to you on all of these different types of cards. People will mislead you anytime it brings money into their pockets. People will give you faulty information. People will misguide you. People will tell you all different types of things to get money into their pocket and out of the next person's pocket. So please make sure that you're checking the validity of any information that you get from anyone you watch on YouTube, including myself, and make sure that when you check this information out, you see the benefits in the information, as well as you see progress towards your goal, because that's the most important thing, is that when you're applying for credit or you're building your credit, whatever methods that you're using methods that are going to actually allow you to build up your report, and not only build up your report, but get approvals in the future for the things that you want in the future. The small steps that you take now are just pieces of the puzzle for you to get to your big win in the end. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the comments, subscribing, and tuning in. If you've watched the video to this point, please leave a comment. Let me know that you're watching the videos in full. And I want to thank you all for joining me. We'll see you guys in the next video.